So basically this is evidently the character selection screen. Pretty much works as you'd expect, but there's a nice little feature in this that you can use where you can actually select a preset team. So you put that together in the options menu in the lobby and you can access this, but I'm probably not going to be able to implement this, but I might show it anyway just so it's out there. I'll just pick one of my main teams and I'll get into showing the mechanics.
Select your team! Select stage!
And yeah, stage select. And for this you can also select the background music you want to have if you want to have a particular sort of BGM playing in the background that you have a preference on. Yep, so I'll just hit the stage and get into it.
A fierce showdown is about to begin!
So, I think the first thing I'm gonna show is the grab, which in this game is referred to as the Dragon Rush. So, when you're near your opponent, you press the input for it, and then this should happen.
Let's do it! I'm only getting started!
Yeah, once you dash up there after your opponent, it is possible to form any kind of additional combo after it.
Let's do it! I'm only getting started!
Not what I was thinking!
Okay, and this is also something you can do while in the air, but it will have a different effect. So instead of throwing them up, it will send them flying down to the floor. Okay, and I guess the next thing I'll show is the vanish, or it says in my game it's going to be something called an exceed slam. So basically you put the input in and you will go behind your opponent and hit them. And it will cost 1 bar of meter to do it. If you just do it on its own, you'll just do a bit of damage to them and knock them away, so it's not going to be too great to just do that randomly. But it's actually a very good tool to use during actual combos. So if I hit them up, and then I do it again, and then doing it will send them against the wall and they'll bounce off a bit. And if that happens, it's possible to do multiple things after that. So get the wall bounce, I can get a Dragon Rush with that. But I could also do any other thing, like an aerial special move or an air super. So an air super will do something like this.
There you go!
Okay. Well, basically, if you had a character that could do some...
It's time to end find the real one.
Yeah, you can do something like that with a special move. Okay, so another thing is the launch thing, which in this game is referred to as a down heavy, which I have actually used before, which is a move that essentially does this. You put the input in and you will launch a uppercut style move that will launch your opponent into the air. And while they're in the air, you can dash after them and perform additional combos.
Let's go!
Yeah, it's also a very good thing to use if they're jumping above you, and you can essentially punish them for doing that. And another thing that has actually been featured quite a few times already in this game is referred to as a super dash, but in my game it's going to be adapted to become an execute assist. So you put the input in and you will fly after your opponent. You can use this to close a gap between you and you're far away, or you can use it to dash after your opponent like I have been before. So launch them up, dash up, hit the drag rush, and will automatically do it. And so combo into that guard, do it. Okay, and another thing would be reflect, and in my game it's going to be barrier. Essentially, you put the input in and you'll do something like that. And the animation varies for each character, but yeah, this is the kind of generic animation. If your opponent fires a projectile at you or tries to hit you with any kind of attack, you can do that and it will knock the attack away. So you're essentially able to avoid taking damage from it. And if you're taking consistent pressure from them, if you use the reflect on a melee attack, it will knock them back and give you an opening to land a hit. And another feature would be blocking. So yeah, to block you basically either hold back and if you take a hit, you will block the attack, and crouching will also put you in a blocking stance. Blocking while standing will prevent you from taking attacks that are essentially either a mid attack or a high attack. To block low attacks, you want to do the crouching block. Right, and other mechanics would be, well, special abilities and supers. So a special ability would typically consist of a down forward movement on the arrow keys or on the left stick if you're using a controller, and then you press one of 3 buttons to get a different variation of a ability. So those different variations are either light, medium, or heavy. A light version of a special ability could be something like this, and a medium could be this. So with this character in particular, the light version throws it directly towards your opponent, but the medium version acts as more of an anti-air, so if they're jumping you can throw it up and hit them. And also, in some situations with this character, light version does that, and then the medium version can do the same thing but have maybe more block stun, or in a fair number of cases it can actually result in different damage. So with the light version of that, it's 1765. With medium, it's 1890. And then you can spend half a bar of meter to perform the heavy version of a special ability, and it will result in additional damage along with a special feature of the ability, which could be maybe getting a wall bounce or a special kind of launcher. So a heavy version of an ability could be something like this.
There you go.
And like you should, and yeah, the last hit of that causes a wall bounce.
Let's go. It's over. Keep trying.
And with other characters,
Not what I was
here,
thinking.
a heavy move can do something like hold your opponent in the air for a certain amount of time that gives you plenty of time to land some strong hits. Whereas my medium version, they recover too quickly for you to get the input in.
Not what I was thinking. Denied!
Right. So as for supers, it's essentially the same kind of input system you'd use for the special abilities, but you essentially have to use 1 bar of meter to perform a level 1 super, 3 bars to get a level 3, and 5 to get a level 5. And some characters do have a level 2, which is essentially you do the input for a level 1, and then you hold down the button that you used to activate the level 1, and it will spend an additional bar to get a level 2. So an example of a level 1 would be this. And as you can see, 1 bar goes down. Since this is training mode, I have infinite meter, so it will automatically replenish me back to 7 bars. Alright, so this is an example of a level 3. Spends 3 bars, and then, because of training mode, goes back to 7. And another little mechanic that can be utilised is key charge. So you put the input in, and an animation like this will play, and if you've spent meter, then you gain that meter back. Holding it down, the meter will gradually replenish, and you can get your meter back. Okay, I will also show a level 2 and a level 5. So I'll do the input for a level 1. Then hold the button down, and it'll spend an additional bar and do an additional attack. And so I can also now do a level 5. Do the input for level 3. Wait for the animation to play out. And right before it finishes, hold the button down, spend 2 more bars and get an additional attack. One of the other mechanics that I wanted to feature in my game is something called the Unison Raid, which essentially combines 2 super attacks together. But in this game, there isn't actually that kind of feature. But there is a close second, which essentially it's the same super attack that your currently active character has, but they're essentially able to perform that super with the help of another character. So, like, one of the characters, Android 18, she performs a level 3 where she and her partner, Android 17, charge in, land a bunch of attacks, kick you in the air, and then fire the energy blast at you to cause an explosion. If you have the character Krillin on your team, the animation will alter so that it's the exact same process, multiple attacks and then firing energy beams to cause an explosion. But instead of Android 17 working with 18, it's Krillin instead. So I think I can quickly go and I can show this. We'll just take a little while to switch to a different team.
Select your fighter! Select your team!
Go and select the team.
Select your fighter!
You have to have 2 characters that are capable of working together. So 18 and Krillin, the 2 characters on the right, they work together. Another example could be Gotenks and Piccolo. They do one together as well. And one other example could be Adult Gohan and Super Saiyan Goku. They work together as well. So I'll go ahead and just select another team and select a stage and get back into training to show this off.
A fierce showdown is about to begin!
Okay, So I'll switch to 18. We have 18 is the one that starts this. So, alright. I will actually first need to, because I have to make sure, because Krillin's on the team already, it will automatically do the altered super, so I have to, I'll start with Krillin, and then I'll actually be able to show two mechanics here. One would be the altered super where so you have the original thing with 18 and 17, so the unaltered version, and I'll also be able to show something called a Z change, which essentially is the ability to switch characters by performing a super with one character and then pressing the assist button, and it'll switch to the next character in your team and they'll perform a super as well. Actually, before that, I'll quickly show like an assist without using supers. So, something like this. He runs in, hits your opponent, and then leaves the stage. Okay, a Z change with the super will look something like this, and I will also show you the normal version of 18's level 3. And there's the change, and we've got 18 and 17 working
This is
together.
over. Bye.
This is the normal level 3 for 18. Okay, and then now that Krillin's available, I'll perform the level 3 again, but this time it'll be different because Krillin will be helping her instead of 17.
Let's do it, Krillin. Oh, come on.
So yeah, you can only do that with characters that are compatible. And I think this thing I also kind of forgot to mention with the launch thing, it's not just a thing you can do on the ground, you can also perform it in the air, so on the ground and in the air. So on the ground you get that, and in the air you get the same thing, but it's more focused on being able to extend combos, and it's also not something that you're going to be able to just throw out there. It's going to be something that you're going to use primarily for combo extension. Okay, so another thing that I will be showing is the sparking, which is in my game going to be second origin. So the kind of flashing orb thing underneath my current character's health bar is what sparking is. And it becomes more powerful depending on how many teammates you have left. And essentially you put the input in and it will give you a temporary damage buff, and it will also increase the rate at which you gain meter, and it will also gradually replenish your health. But it's not a significant health replenishment, it's just a small amount. But it's enough to keep you alive in a desperate situation. So I'll just perform a basic combo with Vegeta, and then without sparking, and then I will use sparking, and you should be able to see the damage difference.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
That one did 5,437. Alright, so I'll take him back to the corner, and then I will activate sparking and perform the exact same combo.
Get out of here! On a scale of 1 to 10.
Now, that one has done almost 1,000 more damage. And another nifty thing about sparking is that you don't have to just activate it at random. You can activate within combos, and it will help with combo extension. So spark, and it will do that. It will essentially knock them up into the air and give you an opportunity to land some more attacks on them. Okay, so another thing I can show, which is another feature of Dragon Rush, is a forced character change. So you hit them with the Dragon Rush, and if you press the assist button, you can force your opponent to switch characters.
We've got this! Very well then.
Yeah, so that's pretty useful. And again, since it requires you to land a Dragon Rush, to perform that, you can do the air version as well. Okay, and another thing I want to quickly show before I move on to the last kind of mechanic things, which I will actually need to switch to a actual match to show off. The last thing I'll show is, again, related to the Z change with this. You can do this any kind of way you want. So, like the way I showed before, it was a level 1 into a level 3 with another character. You can also do any other thing you want. So you can do level 1, level 1, level 1, or you could do something else like level 1, level 3, or you could do level 1.
Here comes the pain.
Level 1. Okay, that was wrong. Hang on, give me a sec. Level 1. Level 1. Level 3. And if you've got all 7 bars, feel like just spending it all, you can do level 1, level 1, 5.
You're not worth my time!
Okay, so I'm now going to need to switch to an actual match to show you the rest of the stuff. Essentially, what I'm planning to show is pretty much what happens when you get a kind of a tag in. So when you knock an opponent out and they have to switch to the next character. And I'm also going to show a feature which I probably can't implement myself because it would probably be a bit difficult to do so. But it's a feature of the game, so I might as well show it anyway. And that's a dramatic finish. And I'll also show a destructive finish. A destructive finish is something you can get by defeating a character with a level 3 super or with a heavy attack that does enough damage to essentially trigger an animation that will show basically a lot of destruction. And with a dramatic finish, it involves you having the correct character fighting against another character. So, like, because with my current team, it's Kefla, Broly, and Gogeta. So if I wanted to show a dramatic finish, I would have to... I'd pretty much have to make sure that there is a Broly on the opposing team. Because there is a dramatic finish available where if I, while playing as Gogeta, land a heavy attack to finish off Broly at the end of a match, it will reenact a scene from the film. So I'll just pick some other characters to go in there as well.
I've had my fill of bad futures. For justice!
And also just pick assists for them. And you can have outfit colours as well.
Select stage.
Yep. And again, with dramatic finishes, it's not just characters you need to take into consideration. You also need to have the correct map as well. So you have to have the right character fighting against the correct opponent, and you also have to have the correct location as well. So yeah, with this dramatic finish, it has to be me playing as Gogeta, defeating Broly on the opposing team with a heavy attack while on the Planet Namek Destroyed map, which I have just selected. So during this, I'll be showing some just general combos and making use of assists to show how they can be implemented, and also showing off some of the other mechanics they implemented into an actual game. And yeah, these are just the intros that will play.
Kale! Plus cauliflower! It's tougher! From what I'm seeing, you ain't gonna be easy to take down.
Action. Since only Broly alive, I will force him to switch. But with this with Trunks here, I will make sure I beat him.
See where this is going? Trunks, come in! It's time to end! Think you can keep up?
Alright, this is a tag-in. Small animation that will play that will show another character. If you switch him to only Broly alive, a star to show how it can be applied. I'll hit for the launch, one heading. But I'm also going to switch to my Broly so I can show a destructive finish on Broly. Okay, just wanted to switch, that's a pain. I'll switch to that. Switchy back.
Useless! I should be able to rest easy.
Alright, destructive finish. I'm level 3, and because his health is really low, this will cause him. Yep, there you go. Now I'll just switch back to Vegeta and heavies on him until I get him. And dramatic finish, here you go.
Broly. Send Broly! Send Broly back to the planet he grew up on!
Finish! Huh. Gogeta! Win! Wait a sec. The whole reason we fused was to fight you, not team up with you.
Yep, that's about it. Yeah. So, I think actually one feature I'll quickly show is something called a TOD, which is an abbreviation for Touch of Death. It essentially means a combo that does a amount of damage that exceeds the maximum health of a character. So even if they have full health, if you land this combo on them, it is guaranteed to knock them out. So yeah, this will also be
Select your fighter. Select your team. Select stage. Planet Nem.
one last showing of sparking in action, and it'll also show some assists in action, and it can also show essentially, yeah, it also shows the character change through supers. So I can actually perform 2 of them with this team, but the one that uses sparking is with Gogeta, so I'll go ahead and perform that now.
Try dodging this. See where this is going? Why don't you give it up?
It's game over!
And that's KO. Over 10,000 damage.
No more holding back.
10,000 health points is how much every character in the game has. So if a combo can do more than 10,000, it will count as a TOD. So I'll also switch to Broly, because I have a TOD with him, and it doesn't actually require sparking. I'm capable of pulling it off without it, but it does require both assists. And of course I bugger it.
What's the matter?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying to get this first part.
No way!
Of course I missed the assist. So at least this is going to show. Yeah, so basically once I get that, if I can land a Dragon Rush at the end of that and start transitioning into the special abilities and supers, that should be the
Oh no!
And yeah, I can also use the TODs in training mode to show the tag again. And well, yeah, this game also has a additional feature now when if you manage to defeat 2 of your opponent's characters and they're stuck on their last one, they will have this golden aura around their health bar, which shows that they have unlocked the limit break. When limit break is active, they gain essentially the same kind of damage boost that you get from sparking, but a lot stronger than that, and it lasts until they get knocked out. It's essentially a sort of a gameplay mechanic that was implemented to help people that are fighting in fairly one-sided matches, so they actually have a chance to come back and actually get a win. So yeah, that's something that can be fairly helpful for players.
Not good enough.
If they are just generally having a fairly bad time against someone. So yeah, that should essentially conclude the mechanics showing, and that's pretty much covered everything.